Hello, welcome back to my channel, Class Prep. I'm going to continue on the Best Practice Spotlight series, Pro Tip of the Day, looking at classroom management. Today, I'm going to talk to you about warm up and bell work. So, let's talk about warm up or bell work. What exactly is that? For many educators, they use warm up and bell work in the very beginning of their class. So there's a lot of operational things teachers have to do, such as take attendance, maybe return a phone call or emails, especially at the secondary level. They usually have some type of warm up for the students to do in the first 10-15 minutes of class while they're taking attendance and doing some operational things that they have to get done. Now, this is warm ups and bell work are important. And the reason for that is you want to think of the school day, the class, how is it going to go? And where are the opportunities that students can possibly get themselves into trouble or really have some disruptive behaviors? So you have to look at the full period or the full day and anticipate, okay, so what would happen? And as a teacher, what are some things that I can do to really prevent any type of conflict that may happen? Things are going to happen. These are children. They're going to get upset. Things will happen. But how do you try to minimize the amount of disruption that you have in your classroom? And a warm up bell work is a great way to do that. So, what does that look like? Especially, again, I talk a lot about secondary because I taught middle school for 8 years as well as high school biology for 6 years. So, a lot of the things that I talk about can also apply at the elementary level. So let's talk about maybe a middle school class. The students come in, right? So what happens in the first 10 minutes of class? How do they come in? Are they given an assignment to do as soon as they walk in? Every teacher runs their class differently. Some believe just let the kids come in, take their seats, and then I'll give them work. Some believe, hey, it's important to give them something at the door, some type of paper and directions for what they need to do. I'm on the side where I believe they need something to do in the first 10-15 minutes of class. And you want to make sure that you're using every minute to your advantage as a teacher. So if they're just idle for 10 or 15 minutes, that's really wasted instructional time. So what are some things that they can do? Now, it doesn't mean that you have to give them work as soon as they come in. You just have to structure the time. Some educators, what they do is they allow the students to read for 10 or 15 minutes. Quietly, they pick a novel of their choice and they do silent sustained reading. I used to do that when I worked at the middle school. It worked just fine for some of my classes. Other classes, in addition to reading, they also had to do a summary. There just needs to be some structure so that way you can prevent any type of issues that may come up. Maybe reviewing for a quiz, reviewing a topic that you taught the day before, giving them some type of Cornell notes for them to do, giving them a visual on a topic that you taught already where they have to do an analysis of that visual. Review quiz, like I mentioned before, reviewing for tests. There's a lot of assessments they have to take, so giving them some questions to do some analysis. Current event article. Sometimes I've done flip books. Another thing that I did a lot when I did the interactive notebook is a reflection log, where again, they're giving a summary, they're giving a visual, and they have to do a reflection log. And it really allows them to be as creative as possible. And I gave them some options of some of the things that they can do, how they can respond. So a warm up again and bell work is a great way to use that instructional time to review on a topic, or again, to preview a topic that they're going to learn. But again, it's just a way for you to structure that time so that way, and it's part of your routine. The kids know what to do. They come in, the directions posted on the board. It's just you also, as a teacher, have to anticipate all of the things that can happen in the classroom. And I found from all the years that I taught that having bell work, having warm up is a great way to get the kids to clear their mind and to start to think and decompress a little bit before I go into teaching. But they always had something to do with their time. So let's continue this discussion in the chat. Let me know, do you use a warm up? Do you believe that it's beneficial to the students, to just learning in general? So let me know what you think. Let's continue this discussion in the chat.